Ford is slashing production of its premier electric vehicle. The automaker saying today that its plant in Michigan that makes the F-150 Lightning EV will scale back, sending 1,400 employees elsewhere. Meanwhile, Ford is putting more manpower into producing its gas-powered Bronco SUV and Ranger pickup truck. So what does this all mean for Louisville, where Ford is a major employer? Let's bring in WDRB.com business reporter Chris Otts. So Chris, the transition to EVs has been the big story in the auto industry, but has it apparently hit a speed bump here?
Yeah, it has. I mean, this is all about expectations of growth and how much it is actually taking place. So EVs are still growing really quickly, but did automakers get a little ahead of their skis here? Take a look at this graphic. So this is the supply, meaning if we had to just sell all the F-150s that are available today in the market, how long would it take based on how much customers are demanding them? And what you see here is that the supply of F-150s, those are selling at a much faster rate than F-150 Lightnings, even though the Lightning is a tiny proportion of overall truck sales for Ford. So the demand isn't just quite there despite those generous government tax incentives.
Interesting to see that perspective of that graph right there.
Yeah.
But this announcement today, does it have a direct impact here in Louisville? And could it be a sign of things to come? We know we have 2 big battery plants being built right now in the state.
Yeah, exactly. So the EV transition, it's the biggest story in the automotive industry, and much of it is slated to unfold here in Kentucky. So while today's news doesn't directly impact, it is something worth watching. One of those battery plants down in Glendale that's being built, they've already said they don't know when they're going to start production or turn it on. The other one is still slated to start in 2025. And then remember that the future of one of our 2 Ford plants here in Louisville, the smaller one, Louisville Assembly Plant, hangs on the EV transition. They have said that they're planning to make an all-new EV there in 2026 or so. The Ford Escape, which is made there currently, is sort of nearing the end of its life cycle. Its sales peaked many years ago, and so the hope is that those jobs will be preserved with a new EV coming on. But of course, all this uncertainty throws, it raises questions about the pace of all that.
Right, and many people at home might be thinking, in the grand scheme of things with electric vehicles, have we gotten ahead of ourselves, or will these vehicles end up being a bust down the road?
Well, if you look at the automotive industry, electric vehicles are one of the fastest growing portions of the industry. So they're growing really fast, but just from a very small base. And so it's really all about the industry moving in this particular direction, but just perhaps not as fast as automakers had previously projected or hyped, back when Tesla was going through the roof, right? And then the other thing to consider, Fallon, is who's the president in 2025?
True.
These very generous incentives that are already not moving vehicles as quickly as we might have thought, those could be repealed, and then you're really in a difficult situation with EVs.
A lot of factors at play. So Chris, as always, thank you so much for your knowledge, and we have more details on our website, WDRB.com.